Tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
All right, welcome to Tinfoil Hat, live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Studios. Go to samtripoli.gold, use the promo code TINFOIL, and you too can get in on the Precious Metals game for as little as $50 a month. We thank them for sponsoring this show. Very excited to have our guest on. He's been on numerous times. I take his supplements. I have them right here. I got them in a handy bag, which is hilarious because James Lee just put out something about microplastics in these little bags. So I'm going to be all juiced up with microplastics. Very excited to have him on. Again, I take his supplements. He's a great guy. Please welcome to the show. His 100th, billionth appearance. We're always proud to have him on. One of the best looking guys we've ever had on the show. My good friend and yours, Tim James. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great, Sam. Glad to be back on.
Tim, always a pleasure to talk to you. I know we try to talk more, and then I just get so slammed, so I'm really sorry about that. I was thinking the other day, like, how busy my phone is, and then I try to imagine what Joe Rogan's phone is like.
Damn.
Just radioactive. That thing never stops ringing. That's why I don't text him. I'm like, dude, it must just be just an onslaught every day.
You got to change your number. When's the last time you changed your number?
Dude, I've never changed my number.
Really? Since you've moved to New York, was it Vegas or New York or LA?
Once. And then now I got a new, and then I've had that one for 20-some years. Enough of us. Tim, how are you?
Awesome. Just on the farm, man. Getting the farm cleaned up. I've been cleaning it up for 3.5 years, putting some infrastructure in, got the new well in, sending water samples off here next week to get tested and see what kind of any type of purification systems I got to add to it. We got our new water system, our Water Hero system on the deal already. So very excited about that. We can talk about that a little bit and just enjoying life, helping people. Just had a guy call me today and said his daughter's autistic and he's been taking care of her and was an athlete, kind of MMA type fighter, hurt his back and got hooked on prescription drugs.
Oh yeah, I've heard
became
that
a drug addict and heard one of my podcasts and episodes, and I was talking about how the caregivers usually end up dying before the people they're caring for.
Yeah, I think about that all the time. My daughter's autistic, and it makes me very nervous.
Yeah, so he realized, he goes, I got to get my shit together. I got to get off these frickin' prescription drugs. I'm a drug addict, and he knew it, and he did. And I mean, shit, he was almost in tears on the phone thanking me. He reached out to customer service, and we get these calls quite a bit, because I remember when I was all messed up and my gut was literally bleeding rectally, and and I had gained 42 pounds. I was an athlete. I played baseball at a high level, and found myself at age 37 overweight and sick and mental fog, and I found out I was poisoned with heavy metals, and I had a lot of issues with my teeth that I wasn't aware of from the dentistry I paid for, and a lot from the processed foods that I ate. My health, I was dying slowly, like most people, from processed foods and a lack of information. So yeah, just a lot of cool stuff going on, man. Just helping as many people as we can, left and right, and waking up and enjoying it.
Before we get into it, where can they find you?
Chemicalfreebody.com. Chemicalfreebody.com. Let me check something out here really quick. I want to see if we have...
Do you have a link tree at all?
TFH. See if you guys... Yeah, and you guys need to get set up with a link and that kind of stuff. We'll build.
No, you need a link tree. Do you have a link tree where they can find your social media and all that stuff? You need one, dude. I've been telling these guys to do it forever. They won't do it for me. Tell Tim, you're a good man. I just got off the phone with Jason Burmese. I think he's a wonderful human being. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. He's sacrificed a lot in his life. He's taking care of his nieces. And recently a video came out of that guy, Andrew, whatever his name is, from Channel 5, who normally I love. I think he does great work. But he was going to do a video on G. Edward Griffin. And if you know Andrew from Channel 5's style, he makes people look like a retards. And Jason Burmese stepped in and kind of curb stomped him. And that's just Jason Burmese. He's like a great fucking guy. Like every time I play Batavia, he comes in from Iowa, we grab dinner, we talk shop, and we hang out. And he's just a good dude. And you're a good dude too. You're like one of the people that walk the walk and talk the talk. And that's why I enjoy our conversations together. Before we start recording, we were all talking about AI, and I do this show called Doom Scrolling. It's every Tuesday at 4 p.m. most of the time. Sometimes I show up late because life gets really crazy, but it's Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific. And whenever I play a video that involves AI, there's some people in the comments section, Mark the Booker, who just more AI bullshit, and I'm like, dude. I mean, you can hate it, but it's here. And there are aspects that are fun.
What's he complaining? Is he complaining about you passing it off as real? Or are you saying, hey, here's some AI shit?
I don't know what it is. Maybe some people think, oh, dude, this isn't real. And you get good at telling when they're like, oh, that's not a real thing. That they're just making up scenes. But sometimes they're just like I think it was like they were explaining the fall of the Roman Empire using Legos.
Oh, okay.
And it was interesting.
No, if it's educational, I mean, it's not like anybody's fooled into thinking, oh,
right.
I mean, Julius Caesar was a Lego? What?
Listen, we love Mark. We want to give him a shout out. His grandmother passed away.
Yeah.
Hopefully she wasn't one of the family members that thinks he's crazy. But, it's just like there. This is why I say I think we're going to find a nice sweet spot with AI.
Well, I just watched the Google, their big I/O presentation about it, and they are baking in invisible watermarks now so that you can detect whether it's AI even in just small portions of the frame.
Yeah, that's great that Google's doing it. I highly doubt CIA is going to do that. Or
We're fucked, dude. We're fucked with the government stuff, but at least like it will be less so like on Twitter where people are just making fake shit and saying we're dropping bombs in Somalia or whatever. It's fake.
Yeah, but Tim was telling us he's been writing some songs using AI because we all got into Kanye West's new song, and there's a rumor based on you might know him from the Tinfoil Hat Show, Tino Sanchez. He says that that Kanye West song is AI.
Well, we know he uses AI. I mean, because he released an AI song in January and was like, "Hey, here's an AI song. Check it out." So I wouldn't be surprised if elements of I bet some of it's.
I think that most people will eventually incorporate because it's like hitting your song with testosterone. Well, it's just like how can you crank it up even better?
Especially in demos, like when you don't need because you're just sitting alone at 3 a.m. in a studio and you're like, boy, I would really like to hear what this sounds like with an orchestra or whatever. You just do, and then eventually, if you have the budget, you get an orchestra to come in and actually fill it out. But.
Tim, you're using it now, right?
Oh yeah, we use it in our business for all kinds of stuff, and it just it speeds up the process. It makes it easier for us, and then we go through and humify it, and I usually check almost everything that goes out the door for us because I'm the one that's been in the trenches. I'm the one that's been I've coached 750 people through the transformation process, the healing process, and but it saves a lot of time. It really does. And for me, like, I can play guitar, I can strum chords and I can do a couple little, little things like intros and outros and stuff like that, but I'm not like a super musician yet. But with AI, I'm able to, and what I am good at though is writing songs and lyrics. So I can load my lyrics in and then tell it, I want this to be an upbeat country theme. I want a male voice or a female voice, and kind of give it, just putting in the prompts. And then it starts spitting out options, and then I pick the option that I like, and then I go in with prompts and I start tweaking it and changing the chorus or whatever. And it usually takes me about 6 to 8 hours from start to finish a song. And my guitar instructor can play 7 instruments proficiently. He's literally like a symphony orchestra himself, and he hears everything. And I showed him the song that I played, and you could see him kind of get a little deflated. He's like, Jesus, dude. He's like, because he knows my skill level, and for me to produce a song like that in 6 to 8 hours, it takes him a long time. He has to play all the parts. He's got to put them together. He's got to master it and do all that stuff. It takes months to do this stuff. And here I am, this basically a hack compared to what he is. Same thing with my vocal instructor. I showed her, I played the songs for her, and she's like, you're going to put us out of, that AI is going to put us out of business. And I'm like, well, I don't think it's going to, because people are still going to write their own songs. But for me, it's like I can write a song, and then I can remove the voice and remove the guitar if I want to, and I can have the full band behind me, and I can play it through my speakers and go down to the farmer's market and sing my own song that I wrote with my lyrics, with everything that I like. And
yeah,
so
I agree with that, cool. Dude. I totally agree with that. Here's what's going to happen. Pop music is just going to get more and more like just, what's the word I'm looking for? More and more just like vapid. Yeah. It's just going to get more vapid, and you're just going to have more less talented people in that world. But there's always going to be room for free range. Always. There's going to be people like the guy who's proficient in 8 things. He could take that and supercharge what already great stuff he's doing. Make it even better. I think people need to look at it that way as a tool than just to get deflated. And it's like people will always want to learn how to play guitar. People will always want to learn how to sing.
Yeah.
Or go to a live show. And you're not going to want to watch a robot do it. If you're going to pay for it, you're going to watch a live person do it.
I agree with that. Yeah, you're not going to want. But I just was thinking about, remember, was it just a year, maybe 2 years ago, when they were first demoing AI photos, like generated photos, and we were just like awed by something that you could tell was obviously not real. It could never get hair right. And then maybe a year later, maybe about a year ago, it was generating like 1-2 second clips of video that were just, like something like this, And we were like, oh, shit. And now they're doing short films at Google I.O., and it's in the app already. I
still think there's going to be room for free range.
No, but what I'm saying is, think about 5 years from now. You're not going to be able to tell the difference. Like, it's going to be indistinguishable.
I mean, look at the Door Brothers and their music videos.
Yes, yeah. And those look ridiculous to begin with, but they're getting slowly evolving and better. It's concerning.
I just read some statistics that AI is doubling every 3.3 months, and in 5 years it will be 1 million times more powerful than it is right now.
Unimaginable. It'll be self-improving by that point, and then that's when you got to look out.
Maybe, or maybe my grandkids will be like, dude, why do you do anything? I'm like, well, we like to make our songs better, So we'll see. I don't know.
Well, I think what it can do, though, is it can get our time back. Like, if it can speed up and help us with stuff, then we can go do stuff that we want, like going for a walk with our children.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to spend 5 hours doing something to write an ebook or whatever. We can do it in 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, I have a job too. That's
but here comes the question, right? Because supposedly there's like an AI podcast out there.
Oh, God.
And I get that. But I enjoy doing the podcast. I enjoy hearing the information. If I just create a podcast and put it out, there's no growth on my side.
Yeah.
There's nothing I'm not gaining anything from it. A big part of this whole thing is the gaining of knowledge from people like Tim or whoever we're having on, and they're doing deep research into subjects, and they share that research with us. If I just make if I go, hey man, send me all your notes, and I'll just feed it in, and we'll just put out a podcast, I don't gain anything from that.
Now, the thing that interests me, and this was explored in that film Her, which was incredibly prescient, if you think about it. If you go watch that now, we're moments away from that reality. They had this idea where AI avatars, sentient avatars of historical figures were kind of getting together and all talking, And now I could see wanting to sit down on a podcast and interrogate, I don't know, Julius Caesar.
I did that with Mark Steves did that.
What do you mean?
He had an AI where you could put in
Yeah, but not a sentient AI. I'm talking about like it's like an actual, a really a perfect representation, as perfect as it can be, of historical figures like Jesus or something. That could be interesting. I could see one.
You could never do Jesus.
No,
Jesus was too perfect.
Yeah. Well, there's just not enough data points for him.
Tim, so we're living in this kind of time where we're just overloaded with data, with information. We've said this before on the show. If they're in the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, pick another time before the internet. If someone got stabbed in Cincinnati, I never really heard about it. But because the internet, now that trauma is beamed into my head, and I think someone on my corner is getting stabbed, so it becomes more personalized, which gets into this kind of like, I've always said the internet is a anxiety deliverance system, and we're getting into a lot of fear. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's really timely that you actually brought this up. I just taught a class last night called the Fear Detox. It's practical strategies to boost immunity, reduce stress, and heal. What a lot of people don't understand is that stress is literally one of the three big areas for me as a person who had great health growing up as a kid and then found myself health destroyed, having to get life flighted to get an emergency surgery at age 37, terrible health, terrible skin health, terrible gastrointestinal issues. Again, life flighted to be a surgery. Your life's kind of out of control when you're being life flighted. Okay, shit's really not good. And from that beginning and the healing process that I went through, I've identified three areas. The first one was detoxification of heavy metals, radiation, and pollution. We can always go back to the umbilical cord studies. When you guys are done listening to this episode, you can type into your browser umbilical cord chemical, and you'll see the studies that I saw going back to 2005 that show that every single child being born has 180 chemicals in the womb that cause cancer. Okay, let that sink in for a moment. 212 chemicals that cause developmental and brain disorders. And it's like, so, I actually wrote an ebook called Dying in the Womb, right? And pointing this stuff out. So if it wasn't for the, the amniotic fluid probably keeping us healthy, then I don't know. Children are being born with cancer. So we have a problem. And then when you look at those tests are based on blood serum. When you look at the fat and muscle tissue, these concentrations of chemicals are 500 to 1,000% more concentrated. So the older we are, the more time we've had to breathe them in through the air we breathe, the water we drink, the foods, the beverages, the clothing we wear, personal care products, blah, blah, blah. Right? So you have all of these toxins. So we have to remove toxins, heavy metals, radiations, EMFs, all those things are toxins. We have to get those out of our life. We have to flood our body with nutrition. Because we're from Mother Nature. We are from planet Earth. She is our mother because our bones are made of minerals that you find in the dirt. Our body's made of mostly water molecules, 99% water molecules. You find those in rivers and creeks and streams. We are from Mother Earth. We need nourishment from Mother Earth directly, and we're not getting it because it's been processed, over-farmed, over-tilled. There was actually a document done in the Senate back in 1936, I believe, where they were so worried about the degradation of the last 50 years of farming, the scientists said that people in America are going to be starving while eating because of the massive amounts of nutrition that have been farmed out of the soil. And this was in the 1930s. And since then, all we've been doing is spraying and tilling even more with mega farms and all these better tractors. So we have deficiencies in nutrients. And then the third thing, back to what you were talking about, is stress and fear. Fear is stress. And so why is this? Because it destroys your immune system. Did I ever tell you the bunny rabbit story about this, Sam?
Okay, yeah, and then I want to ask you a question. So tell us the bunny rabbit
story. Here's the bunny rabbit story. So for those of you, this is going to explain your nervous system. It's actually quite fun. So the bunny is out in his patch of clover, and he's in what's called rest and digest mode. His nervous system is in what's called parasympathetic mode, rest and digest. So the blood has went from his extremities into his organ systems, and it's a sunny day. He's enjoying it. He's eating his clover. But guess what? The fox is also hungry, and the fox wants lunch, and the rabbit is on his lunch ticket. So he busts out of the bushes. He tries to get the rabbit. Now, what happens is the rabbit recognizes the fox is coming. That's an inherent danger. His reticular activator goes off, and what happens is his body is now flooded with chemicals to save his life. Adrenaline spikes, cortisol spikes, his heart rate increases, his breathing increases, the blood leaves the organ systems because it goes to his extremities so he can fight or flight. Now he's into what's called a sympathetic nervous system mode, aka fight or flight. So he has all these super chemicals that are blasted into his system, and he takes off darting and running. He makes it into the briar patch, and he narrowly avoids the fox, and he lives. Now, he's in that patch of briar, those thorns and stuff, and his heart rate's elevated, his eyes are bugged out, and he starts slowly calming down, and he gets back into rest and digest mode. Peeks his head back out, no fox, goes back out into the clover, and resumes his eating. That, my friends, is a natural process and response.
Bang.
It's exactly the same thing that's happened to humans. This is baked into our DNA and our nervous system. Our reticular activator would go off because before roads and bridges and stuff, we're living in caves and huts. If we heard a snap, our reticular activator would go off, and we'd look that way to make sure something wasn't going to come and kill us. And we see, it was an elk walking by. It snapped. We're fine. But if it was a saber-toothed tiger and it's running at you, then all of a sudden your body floods with adrenaline. Your body floods with cortisol. Your blood leaves the organ systems, goes to the extremities. And you would fight that tiger with a bunch of sticks and try to say, or you would run. And the difference is that when you're fighting that tiger and running, you're actually using that chemistry that your body flooded you with, the cortisol and the adrenaline. And you would burn through it. The difference today is that modern man is not doing that.
Yes.
And those chemicals become a toxic soup that destroy, let me be clear, destroy your body, destroys your immune system, makes you age fast, takes decades off of your life. Even WebMD says that stress takes off 17 to 19 years of your life. Okay? And so what do? We wake up, the alarm goes off. That's stress. Get the kids ready. Maybe the kids, you can't even get them out of bed because they're on processed foods, and you got to drag them out of bed. They're all messed up. They're not drinking enough water. You fight with the wife or the husband a little bit. Maybe there's stress at work. Beep, beep, beep. There's traffic. Sam just said it took me an hour and a half to get to traffic. Like down in LA, it's crazy time. You stress at work, financial stress, relationship stress, taking care of elderly parents with dementia, Alzheimer's nowadays. That is exploding. There is tariffs and cost of living's going up, and there's a lot of stress. Okay, you come home, and then everybody's drinking beer and wine trying to calm down and soothe their nervous system. And like I said before, you need good sleep, and when you're drinking booze, you destroy your sleep. You absolutely destroy it. And if you don't believe me, get a wearable. Put on a Garmin watch or a Whoop band or the Oura Ring. And don't drink for a month, and do everything you can to improve your sleep, and sleep in a dark room and weighted blankets and figure out the best temperature. And then you get your sleep figured out, have a couple beers or a couple glasses of wine, and watch your sleep score tank 20 to 30 points. It's going to plummet. And so we have a lot of stress going on. EMFs, again, lots of stress, right?
So much,
well, here's the deal.
dude.
All of those things that I just mentioned, the alarm clock going off, the fighting with a spouse, the financial pressure, all that stuff, those are all saber-toothed tigers, and that's to your nervous system. Treated no different. Every single time those events are happening during the day, it's triggering adrenaline and cortisol to be released so that you can run or fight. But you don't do it. You sit on your butt, you get in the car, you don't do it. So we have this toxic soup inside of us 24/7, and it's literally killing us and taking years off of our life. So it is something that really needs to be paid attention to.
Hey guys, real quick, I want to tell you about our good friends at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. That's right, Wise Wolf Gold and Silver, one of our golden sponsors here. In a time of crazy fiat money, there is the best hedge, and that is precious metals. Let me tell you about Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. If you are paying attention, you know the de-dollarization is real. Fiat is fake, and you don't want to be left holding the bag when the dollar collapses. gold and silver have been money through all of recorded history and are an excellent way to protect yourself from inflation and geopolitical turmoil. That's why I trust my friends at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver for all precious metals, all things precious metals. I love it. I am part of the Wolf Pack. Every month I have precious metals sent right to my house, and I love it. See, Wise Wolf Gold and Silver is veteran-owned and A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. No transaction is too big or too small. You can even roll over your 401k or IRA into physical gold and silver. And if you think you can't afford precious metals, think again. With the Wolfpack monthly membership program, you can get gold and silver delivered directly to your door for as little as $50 a month. As little as $50 a month, you can have precious metals. You start loading it up, man. By the end of the year, you'll have a good chunk of precious metals. Dude, it's crazy. You just go to samtripoli.gold. You can see all the different plans they have. Man, it's like $50. Lone Wolf, Warrior Wolf, $125. Alpha Wolf is $250. And it just keeps going up. Sent to your house. Right there. It's that simple. It's that simple. Easy peasy. Get in, get out, get your gold, get your silver. I love it. I'm doing it. Dude, I'm telling you, all of these affiliates I use, and I use Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. I use it all the time. It's real simple. So if you want to get in, this is how you do it. Wise Wolf Gold and Silver also deals in and accepts Bitcoin. So here's what I need you to do. Okay, go to samtripoli.gold, promo code tinfoil at checkout to receive free constitutional silver. That's right. And remember, in a world of bulls and bears, be the wolf. Guys, it is chaos out there, and there's only one way to fight back, and that is vigilante style. So you need the perfect outfit, and there's no better outfit to go from fighting crime in the streets to a wedding to a CEO board meeting. Whatever it is, they got the best outfit for you, and that's our good friends at True Classic. Let me tell you about True Classic. I need to fight crime. That's right. I gotta be able to kick high to the head. Okay, make no doubts about it. I gotta be Ralph Macchio in the new Karate Kid over 50 doing high kicks to the head. Okay, and I need clothes that let me move. And there's no better clothes to be a vigilante and keep the safe to fight crime. The number one gear for crime fighters is True Classic. Let me tell you, I got bad angles too, dog. I
totally agree.
Shut up, Johnny. I have bad angles, dude. Okay, the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh, and he taketh
Mostly
my
took from me,
angles.
yeah.
Okay, a lot of taking. All right, and that's all right because he gave me two things: ability to talk shit and volume, and that's all I really want. Okay.
What colors?
Oh my God! Look how good looking that is. So this is what we got to do, dude. Real quick, everybody, go to trueclassic.com/tinfoil. That's trueclassic.com/tinfoil. And dude, listen, skip the cheap throwaways. True Classic delivers premium essential built for real life. Grab yours at Target or Costco. Bang! Woo!
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
We're
Stepping up.
reaching the masses, man. And a lot of people are talking about it's because of this show, Tinfoil Hat.
I heard
That's
that.
helped them grow a billion-fold, okay? So here's what you need. Head to trueclassic.com/tinfoil to get hooked up today. And we thank them for helping me keep the streets safe for the ladies. Thank you, True Classic. A long time ago, we had a guest on. She works with women to help them get pregnant, and you know, the episode didn't do big numbers, and I knew it wouldn't because it was very much female centered, and we have a very guy heavy show. But I thought it was one of the best episodes we've ever done. And she said one exactly along the lines of what you're talking about. And what she said, and it really blew me away, is like a big reason why like childbirth is down is because we are constantly in fight and flight. Constantly. Like exactly what you said. Most mammals, when the predator's there, they're in fight and flight and they go. And once the predator's gone, they calm down. Humans never do that. And it's like this internet is constantly like, I saw somebody do a story on Ted Turner and his rise, and like one of the biggest business moves he ever did was the 24-hour news station. He made he was the first guy to do 24-hour cable. And I would tell you that has been a death blow to humanity because now you got a news station that's constantly pumping into you trauma from places you were never naturally meant to hear about. Stuff on the other side of the world, stuff in another state, in another country, all this stuff. So we're constantly in this fight and flight. And this leads into this thing that, this is me, and I would love to hear your opinion. I'm a total terrain theorist. I'm not saying that there aren't things out there that we could breathe in that get us sick, but what we're sold in as in viruses, I don't believe that's true. And I think a lot of it is about kicking off your immune system.
Well, let's just pause for a second because if you haven't heard this before, you're gonna get your mind blown. And so are your listeners. Because my mind was absolutely, completely blown. What is a virus?
So I believe they are exosomes. But
okay.
I'm open-minded to anything. And I have my theories on why, dude, everyone got sick. Well, I go, if let's say you're working in a restaurant and everybody's slammed in the lunch shift, stress is back to what you're saying. Stress is really high. Everyone's eating the same crap. Everyone's banging coffee. Everyone's doing all this stuff. Xavier Guerrero's fighting to stay awake. We're all doing all this stuff.
I was going to ask you right here. It says it's a tiny non-living particle that can only reproduce by infecting a living cell. You don't think you've been infected?
I don't believe that.
What about when a bunch of people on vacation having the chillest time of their lives on these boats all get the shits at the same time?
Yeah, or your kids.
I'm not saying
that's a bacterium.
It's norovirus breakouts is what they typically have on those shits.
I have a question. I love the interaction. So, can I share screen?
Yeah,
I believe it should still be. I think
okay,
so.
I'm good.
I'll permit it.
So, you check it out. So, this is an English-Latin dictionary. Now, when medical professionals go to school, like doctors, MDs, the first year they're learning all the body parts and cells in Latin, right? And so that's the first year of medical school. So, and my friend, Dr. Brian Artis, has found English-Latin dictionaries that go back to the 1700s. And every single one of them, when we put in, I'm typing in virus right now. Let's type this in, virus, and we hit go. What's the definition of a virus? A virus is a venom, a poisonous secretion of snakes, creatures, and plants. So cone snails, scorpions, that kind of stuff in plants. So if we really, as a culture, this word has been so manipulated.
Yes.
We think it's even in our thing. It's like go viral, right?
Yeah.
Go viral.
Oh, I never even thought about that. Going viral is spreading a virus.
The reality is a virus, we all have to get on the same page. A virus is a venom. It is a poison. That is the definition of a virus. Because you have people like Dr. Tom Cowan as an example, that the germ theory and stuff like that says that viruses don't exist. Well, based on what people think a virus is, it's some little bug that's replicating and getting in and doing things. I would agree with him. But the reality is the definition of a virus, we have to get our definitions right first. And so if we go to the foundation of what is a virus for hundreds of years is a venom. That's what it is. Okay, so it's not something that comes and gets us. So now it's making me think the cold and the flu virus, this stuff like, COVID and stuff like that as an example, and through Dr. Artis's work showing that, they've never shown us a photo of a virus. We've seen pictures of a spike protein, but then when geneticists looked at that spike protein, what was the genetics of it? It was the genetics of the Chinese, the king cobra and the Chinese crate snake.
Damn, dude.
Well, wait a minute. So the genetics of the spike proteins that's COVID is from a snake? And then this opens up this whole Pandora's box of what the hell is going on here? It's so it's very. Have you guys had anybody on? Have you guys talked about this?
No, but there's that one. I forget what kind of doctor he was. A chiropractic doctor, and he went on Stu Peterson, and he was talking about how remdesivir is basically.
That's maybe, Dr. Brian Artis. He's a friend of mine.
Yeah. If you ever talk to him and he wants to come on the show, we'd love to have him on the show. He's talking about, and I think it's remdesivir he called it, but
He was talking about remdesivir.
and how it's basically snake venom.
Well, the other thing was it was killing people.
Yeah.
They were doing those trials in Africa, and then the third party company that was analyzing this stuff,
Yes.
it pulled remdesivir off because it was killing like 50% of the people taking it.
Yes, and it's just like AZT where they create a drug.
They were putting it on people for 28 days. So during COVID, it became the go-to, but they would only give it, I think, for 10 or 11 days, right?
And you saw all these nurses coming out saying that.
Toxic thing out of the Ebola trials, and then made that the go-to.
Yes.
Made it the go-to for COVID.
And what I believe, Tim, is that they made those
Ventilators?
the ventilators, the bad guy. They're like, oh, it's the ventilators that was killing everybody, not this drug that we're making them give. And guess what? Guess who is pushing remdesivir? Donald Trump. He gave big speeches on it. Oh, you got to try this remdesivir.
Fauci,
It just made me so much better. You're telling everybody to take snake venom? Now, because we all want to give Trump an out, right? Maybe that's what his experts were telling him.
Oh yeah, I don't think he came up with that idea. He was like, you know what we should try is remdesivir.
Yeah, I'm with you. So that's exactly what they did with AZT. So they told these gay guys, they all have this virus. You got to get in this drug AZT, which was a cancer drug, and you don't give people cancer drugs for eternity. You give it to why they have cancer, and once they beat the cancer, then you take them off.
The way it works is trying to kill the cancer before it kills you, basically.
Right. And then with AZT, they just kept these guys on it
so
for
sad.
years.
It's so sad.
And you can't tell people in the gay community this. There's a small group that knows what happened. They protested Fauci. But the rest of them, hook, line, and sinker.
Why wouldn't you want to know, though?
Their Holocaust, dude.
You think it's something they just don't want to...
It is though. It really, they treat, I mean, it's their,
It's their, yes, it is the gay Holocaust. So 100%, and the reason they do that, dude, it's the same reason that whether you talk 9/11, whatever topic you want, people like to think they have a great bullshit meter and that they can catch bullshit, and then you're telling them they didn't, and their egos just jump in and say, no, dude, no. Because
it's belief systems, Sam. It's their definitions and their belief systems. So their belief systems are getting challenged, and when that happens, people they just hunker down even harder a lot of times. So it's really about how the information is presented to them, or they have to have first person experience. Let me give you an example. So this whole virus thing that we're talking about. Now that we know a virus is a venom or a poisonous secretion from snakes or other creatures or plants, we know what that is. Now the question is that how does a virus spread all over the world? Okay, well, it means that somebody did a bunch of snakes jump up and start biting people, or was the snake venoms added to the water? You were talking about Stu Peters. Dr. Artis went on there and had one called Watch the Water.
Yeah. Oh, snaps.
And then it's like, even me, I'm open-minded, but when I start hearing this stuff in the beginning, I'm like, this sounds crazy. Snake venom? But then when you go look at Big Pharma, the research, they have massive snake venom research facilities. Multi-million dollars has been poured on this for decades. This isn't anything new. Lisinopril, which is a known drug that people are using for blood pressure, is 50% snake venom.
Oh my God!
How is that any
You're gonna
good?
love this one. The African banana spider. You guys look this shit up right now, and you can show it on screen. The African banana spider, when it bites humans, specifically males get persistent, painful erections.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Oh my God!
and it can
Angry
screw up your
boners,
penis.
dude.
It'll explode.
What?
So what?
Yes.
So what? Yeah, your dick will explode. So what
Priapism,
ends
yeah.
up happening? Big Pharma is synthesizing these African banana spiders' venoms so they can make an erectile dysfunction drug so guys can get hard-ons. So it's like they're doing research on cone snails, starfish, and in fact, it even goes deeper. There are like Bayer and University of Louisiana and a whole bunch of other places. There's so many patents on genetically modified vegetables that have venoms in them. Snake venom, starfish, cone snails. Many of the vegetables nowadays have venoms baked into the DNA, and we've been eating them. So they're using venoms all the time, and just to show something else, this is going to blow everybody away. I got to tell this whole story now because it's
Please do.
Can you share screen and pull some stuff up that I can guide
You got
you?
it, Dixie?
Go to Google and type in
Spell
Time
it,
Magazine.
please. Spell it.
Time Magazine 1999 Special Edition.
Here, take out banana.
Yeah.
Yeah, Time Magazine 1999 Special Edition.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Scroll down just a little bit. And
Go to
go
images.
to images. Click on the one on the far left top.
That one.
Click on that one. Okay, blow that one up.
Whoa.
So what this says, this is 1999. This is special
New
edition.
tab. Open image and new tab. Actually. Okay.
Yeah, and so what it says is that special issue. The future of medicine. Now, what we're seeing here is a double helix. That's representing the human's DNA, right? But half of that DNA is a snake. Now, on the bottom right, you'll see how genetic engineering will change us in the next century. This is
Whoa.
1999. So 2000 is the next century. I didn't know that our God-given genetics needed changing. Did you? Do you guys want your genetics changed?
Nope.
Bro, this is so deep. So if you get into time, someone told me this a long time ago. Kronos is the oldest god. It is the god of all the oldest religions. Kronos. Kronos is Saturn. Okay. Kronos is the black cube of Saturn. Kronos is also the god of
Eating his babies.
no. Thank you though. Time.
Well, I think that's the staff of Hermes, right? Is what that's meant to be. And
No, but the time. So
the caduceus is that thing.
what?
That the symbol for medicine. The
Right,
caduceus.
I understand that, but I'm saying Time Magazine
Oh, I see.
is
Okay,
basically an extension of Kronos, the black cube of
Oh,
Saturn.
interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Boy, they've been. You're right. They've been at the center of a lot of of history. Really.
I mean, you remember when they put Hitler on it was Man of the Year,
Yeah,
and
they
we're
put-
supposed to be like, "Whoa, Kanye, why?" And then we also get into when God, the biblical story is that basically God flooded the realm because our precious DNA had been corrupted by Nephilim giants hitting that ass, right? And so now we're looking at it again. Here we are, the same people.
So this has been going on a long time. This isn't something new. This has all been planned out. Like all these things, the COVID sham and all these things has been planned out. And the reality is that it is different types of snake venoms. Again, the geneticists are showing those spike proteins were from the Chinese crate and the king cobra venom. And so there's actually a whole bunch of different venoms and some of them will slow your heartbeat down and some will speed them up. And then some will thin your blood and some will thicken your blood. Depending on the creature, it has different ways. You get bit, and sometimes like they'll follow you around or follow the mouse around for hours or days until it slows down and dies, and then just eat it while it's alive. That's the process. That's what they do. So when those venoms come into us, they're actually attaching to our nicotine receptors. This was something new that I learned a few years ago, is that our skin cells, which our body is mostly made of skin cells inside and out. Your gut is just an inside skin. Most of your cells are skin cells. You have hundreds of thousands. Probably the most receptors in your entire body are nicotine receptors. And then it's like, whoa, that's weird, because what do you guys know about nicotine? What do you guys think when you think of the nicotine? Is that good or bad for people?
Sam's been saying it's pretty good lately.
Is it good?
Pretty good lately.
I've heard that it can sharpen the mind.
Yeah.
That's what the reports lately. I when it's divorced from tobacco.
Yeah. Now, before this, very little of this conversation would even come up. I mean, even like Dave Asprey was saying, yeah, it's a good nootropic, but I wouldn't want to do it long term because it's addictive. So most people think nicotine, they think cigarettes, chewing tobacco, addictive, not good, lung cancer, stomach cancer.
Yeah.
It's bad, right? And it's like, stop smoking today. It's a good thing. The reality is that these nicotine receptors, these snake venoms, they come in, whether they're natural or they're synthetic, which is, I think, what we're mostly dealing with here in the water supplies and being aerosolized into the air. And they attach to the nicotine receptors and they block function in the human. And some might shut down the spleen, some might shut down the pancreas, some slow down the heart rate, some stop the lungs from working. Like I said, there's a bunch of different things that they do depending on the different venoms or combinations of venoms. So what's very interesting that I learned from Dr. Artis is that when you put nicotine into the body, it dislodges the snake venoms from the nicotine receptors, and those get detoxed out through the detoxification
Let's
pathway.
go, bro.
Why is that? Why are you always on top of things?
Because the nicotine polar bond is 30 times stronger than the synthetic version. And then this is what's happening. So let's say you're out in the woods, Sam, and you got your lady with you and your two little girls, and one of your girls gets bit on the leg by a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get down there and suck that venom out of her leg, and then you're going to tell her to stay calm, elevate, and you're going to get her to a hospital to hopefully administer like snake anti-venom. Now, what's going to happen to Sam after he sucked that venom out of his daughter's leg? Well, for 6 months to 2 years, he's going to lose his smell and possibly could lose his taste. He could possibly get tinnitus. What does this sound like, guys?
COVID.
Long haul COVID.
Oh,
Long
snaps,
haul COVID.
dude.
No
so check
smell,
this
taste.
out. So I had Dr. Artis on my show. We released this out to thousands of people. One of them was a pastor in North Carolina. He's like, he actually sent an email to our support, and then I called him and we bullshitted for a little bit. And he's like, Tim, look, he goes, I've been following you for a long time. Love your show. I've been practicing everything you've said. I've done. It's worked so far for me. But when you guys came on and started talking about snake venom and nicotine as the solution, or one of the solutions, I thought it was kind of woo-woo. But he goes, I had long haul COVID, so I tried it. So what we did was it's actually a pharmaceutical company called Rugby, RUGBY. They have nicotine patches, 7 grams, 14, and 21 grams.
Oh my God, that must be so much.
What you do is you take a 7-gram patch. Don't buy the 7-gram patches. Buy the 21 milligram patches because they're the same price. Even though it says don't do it, you cut them into thirds so you can triple your money. And then you put a 7-gram patch on your arm or in your back or your hip or whatever every day for 24 hours and for 6 days. And like 70% of the people long haul COVID symptoms are gone within 6 days.
Whoa.
And this has
And
been
guess
written
what?
about, right? They've done studies on this.
He called me up because his long haul COVID symptoms were gone. Then he went to his 80-plus-year-old mom who had tinnitus, which is ringing of the ears, and he couldn't smell or taste things. He totally got his smell and taste back. Wow. Mom takes it, and she actually does nicotine gum, and within like 3-4 days, her tinnitus is gone. And he can't. And he's like, can't believe it. So this works a lot of the times, but there are different venoms that the nicotine doesn't work on. Now, here's the thing: there's over 1,300 vegetables that have nicotine in them. Eggplant is one of the highest concentrations. White potatoes have it. Cruciferous vegetables, cauliflower, and broccoli. So all of us have been consuming nicotine our whole lives. We've just been taught that it's bad because of big tobacco. So now we got to go look at that. So there was a 2016 study done in Harvard. They got together and they're like, wow, let's find out why nicotine is so addictive. After the whole study was done, they found out that nicotine was not addictive at all. Period. End of story. It's not addictive. So they go to big tobacco and they're like, what's going on? We've proven without a shadow of a doubt that nicotine is not addictive at all. What is going on over there? They wouldn't release any information to them. So they got a FOIA request, got the information, and what happened was Big Tobacco had gotten together in the late 60s, early 70s, and they hired chemists, and they said, we want to put something into our product to make it super addictive so we'll have repeat customers.
Damn!
What should we put in there?
Shoot.
All the chemists combined unison said, you should put in pyrazines. So there's up to 14 different pyrazine chemicals that are highly addictive that were added to the tobacco and added to the paper that makes the tobacco product highly addictive. Nicotine is not addictive at all. And one of you said that nicotine is a good nootropic. It is. It's great for mental clarity and your thought processes. Your body needs it. God put nicotine receptors on your skin cells for a reason, because nicotine is good for humans. It's really good for humans. It's just not good when you burn it and inhale smoke, right? Burning anything and putting smoke. I mean, animals run away from forest fires. They don't run into them. Smoke is not good for the most part, unless somebody could show me different. But the point of this Harvard study shows that it shined highlight. It wasn't the nicotine that was bad. It was the smoking part and the toxic chemicals. There's actually 599 chemicals in cigarettes, just so you know that, and 14 of them are pyrazines. So nicotine, good, because we have skin cells that are full of nicotine receptors, so that's just common sense now. And now we understand why the industry and why people were addicted. And then we also looked during COVID, we spent our tax dollars because the government said, if you're a smoker, you're at a higher risk for for COVID contracting it. Now's the time to quit. And so they had billboards all over the place, spending our tax dollars trying to get smokers to quit. But guess what? Smokers are not the healthiest people in the world, typically, okay? Because they're smoking. Smokers had very little COVID at all. And one of the reasons is because they had nicotine coursing through their veins 24/7.
What's your thoughts on zines?
Sweeping it out. So
what do you think?
There's a little history. Viruses are venoms. They do exist. Viruses do exist. They are venoms and poisons. And then we have to, and nicotine is good. We have nicotine receptors, and nicotine can be good for many of these venoms that are entering our body as a solution.
Guys, let me ask you something. Are you upset about your mobile provider just fleecing you all the time, left and right? Well, guess what? Daddy's got an answer for you. And it's our good friends at Mint Mobile. They are the best in the biz. They're everywhere you want to go. Let me tell you about Mint Mobile, everybody. Hey, guys, summer is just around the corner, and the folks at Mint Mobile have a hot take. Getting a summer bod is out, and getting a saving bod is in, okay? This spring and summer, we want skimpy wireless bills and fat wallets. And with premium wireless plans for just $15 a month, you can have both without breaking a sweat or the bank, okay? I got my above phone. I popped this right in. I'm cooking with gas, okay? I'm off the grid, and it's clear, okay? It's nice and clear, and that's why I love Mint Mobile.
You must be saving a lot, too.
I'm saving so much. It's unbelievable.
Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your own phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for just $15 a month.
Wow. So listen, this year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at Mint, MINT, mobile.com/tinfoil. That's Mint Mobile, MOBILE.com/tinfoil.
Upfront payment of $45 for a 3-month 5 GB plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for the first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Okay, so a couple questions. One, Zins. What do you think of Zins?
Well, I mean, it's a way to get nicotine in. Here's the deal. It's like, you see my shirt?
Yeah.
What's it say?
Ingredients matter.
Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm sourcing my own tobacco seeds,
Dude,
and I'm
let's
going to build
do
a
this.
greenhouse and grow my own tobacco plants. So what you want to do is you want to get nicotine into your system, and just for a protective, you want to do about 3 to 3.5 grams.
Can we make a tinfoil hat nicotine pack? Ooh. Oh, dude.
Congrats, Sam. You're not addicted to Zens anymore.
Yeah.
You just
Let's
like
make
them. You just like them a lot.
Tinfoil hat nicotine pouch thing that you put in. It's got none of the bad chemicals.
What flavor?
And it just bangs your system.
Sam had been
What
trying to
flavor?
quit Zen, but now that you've given him the green light, he's
No,
just
I
gonna-
was never trying to quit.
You said you were.
I
You were
know.
like, yeah.
But it was a
You didn't
lost-
really try.
So we answer your question, Sam. You just have to look at the ingredients. Now, it's pretty hard to find ones that are super clean. But the bottom line is like if you have tinnitus or long haul COVID or you're sick all the time, you need to get some nicotine in you. It's the first thing you should try.
Tell that to
and
Dana.
and even if it doesn't affect the venoms that you have in you now, it's protecting you from other ones that are going to affect you because
I'm just going to yell at Dana. I'm fighting Venom right now.
Can you do that through diet? Say you don't like the intoxicating effects of nicotine. Can you do that through diet? Like you mentioned that it was an element of several foods.
For most people, there's not really when you say intoxicating, what do you mean?
Well, I know. I mean, Sam, you can describe it. The first time you took a Zen, you spazzed out and almost fell down. Out in the
I
parking lot.
was because they gave me a 6
That's
right
a lot.
off the gate.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a lot.
So it was like it just hit my system, and I was just like, now I chase that dragon all the time.
But wait up. So
I literally the first time I took a Zen, I thought I was drunk driving.
Yeah.
I had to pull aside and just chill out for 2 seconds.
Right.
And of course, the traffic was the worst traffic heading back from the other studio.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And I was just like, why? And I had to get off the exit and just chill for 2 seconds. And then I drove.
Yeah. So that is what I'm talking about.
So-
Well, that's what you do because
so
like
the
Tino
point is they're going to
Sanchez.
affect people differently. It
Yeah.
also depends what you're taking and how you're taking it, because they could have other fillers or stabilizers or sweeteners in there, things that could also be causing that. But it's like anything. You want to start very small.
Yeah.
Like if you take one of those gums, cut it into a fourth and just chew on a little bit. Some people are very sensitive to things. You might only need
Especially
a
if you're
little
sober.
tiny amount, right? Maybe you'll get enough from just taking eggplant, but a little bit of per day, or making sure it's in your food, is a very smart thing to do.
Tinfoil Hat's Tino Sanchez. I
That's
gave him a
twice today
3.
he called
yeah,
out.
I mean he's
Killing it.
He's a regular. I gave him a 3, and it like, so he found a 1.5. So he
Oh wait, a 3 really got to him? Is that what you're saying?
it got a little bit to him. So then he started
See,
with a
I can't do that.
1.5.
I need like small. I need like
Yeah,
a 0.5
they
or
have
something.
smaller doses, and then you lead.
Here's
your
what's
way.
in Zen: food grade additives, fillers, a stabilizer called hydroxypropyl cellulose, pH adjusters, non-caloric sweeteners, and flavorings. It doesn't get more specific than that, but
Yeah,
What
so I would want to drill down into the exact specifics of each little thing,
Okay.
and then we would know.
So,
But here's the deal: if it works for you and it stops all these things, great. Get something going on, whether it's the rugby patches or it's Zins or whatever. Keep looking for, and the more we look and we shop and we purchase, the more companies will pop up, because
Yeah.
supply
There's-
and demand.
yeah,
People
there
will-
is a market for it.
It creates economies. And so this is how we change things as working class people. We vote with our dollars by
Yes.
getting educated and
Yes.
finding things that are useful, and then purchasing them from people that are actually trying to, like our company, where we don't compromise. Like the wheatgrass juice extract in Green 85, we take 33 pounds of wheatgrass fresh cut, juice it to make 1 pound of powder. It's a 33-to-1 concentrate. You're not going to find that in probably any other green powder formula out there, or wheatgrass, because we find the
I
most
take it- I took it
concentrated,
on the drive
expensive
over.
thing so it's amazing. So it'll actually do its job. And when you find good companies like that are producing awesome products, you want to buy an awesome product. You're never like, oh, that product was terrible, I'm going to go buy it again.
Yeah, I
You just
agree.
you don't do it. And that's what's happening. As we have centralized manufacturing and we're getting rid of ma and pa's and little startups, we're getting shittier products that
Yeah,
cost more.
I agree.
That's what's happening.
I
We're getting
agree.
shitty products. And if you want better products, stop buying the shitty stuff and search,
Yeah, splurge on yourself.
get off your ass and put a little time in to find a good one.
I'm with you. So real quick, what was the definition website you went to? Because I feel like you gotta go to that.
It's just English Latin dictionary, and you can actually get the hardback covers. Find them in used bookstores. Go get an English Latin dictionary, because as this information leaks out, the English Latin dictionaries online are probably going to change their definition.
Okay.
But you can screenshot them now.
Is
or
that
you
what
can
you
always
went
use
to?
the Wayback Time Machine.
Xavier? Yep, that's it. English Latin dictionary. Okay.
Wait up. I got one question right before we get
Stop.
off this topic. I thought I had like a long-term COVID because my taste and my smell took forever, and I
No,
wasn't
that's
really.
doing Molly at EDM concerts.
No, it's not. And
yeah, your voice is kind of thin right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Actually. What-
so
Sound like you've been large Marge. You've been smoking cigarettes in the afterlife.
the question is, I thought I had a long-term COVID. It came back, kinda, but not the same. But I like different foods now. Like blue cheese tastes really good to me. Will that nicotine still help me, or do I not have that? It was very weird. Even
Well, it
smells.
just depends. Like I said, there's so many venoms out there. There's so many different types of snakes. There's scorpions. There's sea urchins. There's cone snails. It depends on what venom that you got exposed to. So we know though, but the nicotine works on about 70% of them. If it's the other, actually, there's a book out there by Dr. Artis. I'll talk to Brian and I'll get him hooked up with you guys so you can get him on the show. He's going to blow your mind, and he's awesome. But he has a book called Beyond the COVID-19 Lies.
So
and it after reading that book, you're just gonna be like, oh shit! It is definitive at that point. After you read that book, you will no longer question anything as far as is pharma and government helping me or against me, and you read that book and you'll come to your own conclusion.
I agree, dude.
So when we were talking about like norovirus outbreaks on boats and stuff, is that from the food? They're all just eating the same food? Is that what you think?
I'm not an expert on the norovirus. Don't even really know what that is, but
Well, it's like the standard gut bug that when people say they have the stomach flu, it's almost always the norovirus.
okay. To me that would be a bacterium if it was foodborne. I don't know.
Well, no, I'm just asking you, like when they say it's like, well, what would you suspect then if there's a big outbreak on a ship? Because I was saying this is a point against Sam saying that viruses don't exist, but when people are on vacation, they're not totally stressed. They're having a great time on a boat.
What's in the water.
Well, that's what I'm asking him.
It's just like food poisoning. Like I was at Elmer's years and years ago, and I had a chicken salad, and the chicken wasn't cooked, and I shit myself for two days, and threw up.
So we have no doubts about bacteria.
A bunch of other people that ate the chicken breast there wasn't undercooked. They also got it too. They'll retract lettuce sometimes. So sometimes it can get into the food, and it's some type of a food bacterial poisoning.
Okay.
So it's like they all eat it, and then the bug has to go through the system, and then the body has to go through this period of adjustment, building up the immunity, and getting it out, right?
Okay. So you would say it's bacteria, though, not likely an actual virus?
I would, yeah, because if we're looking at our definition, unless there was venoms of poisons in the food, which maybe there was, then I wouldn't call it a virus anymore, because I know now a virus, true definition, is a venom. It's a poison.
And what are they spraying in the skies? What's that heavy spray day that day? Are you catching on a bad day? You're in the Bahamas, suddenly they're spraying the shit out of the skies.
Yeah, maybe the venoms were there.
And again,
they're putting parasites in the fog. I mean, there's all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah, and you get into it's like cold sores, right? It's like, why does someone get a cold sore? Well, the collagen in their skin has been thinned to the point that the inside's coming outside. That's what it is.
Well, Sam, you asked something earlier you were talking about stress. We were talking about the nervous system and all this stuff. And this comes back. So because here's the thing. I was at an event. Are you familiar with the Anarchapulco event?
Yeah.
Charlie goes to? Okay,
yes.
So I went down there this year. Charlie Robinson invited me. Macroaggressions. We'll give him a shout out. He's awesome.
We love Charlie.
And yeah, he's super cool. And so we went down there, and I had a booth there, and all these people. I was just trying to get people. I'm like, look, you get your butt over here in the morning before you eat anything, and you drink one of these green juices. Then you come again on the afternoon, about a half an hour to an hour before dinner, and you drink another one, and you watch what happens. I said, you're going to have energy in 20 to 30 minutes. It's going to be sustainable with no crash. It's better than coffee, and you're going to eat half as much food, and you're going to feel amazing. Do it. So I was there early, making green juices, doing all this stuff, and I got to interact with a ton of people. Well, some speakers came in. Actually, Stu Peters was there. And a lot of people got really fired up at his talk, and people were arguing and fighting and all this stuff.
Yes.
And here's the thing, guys, is that we talk about like the news and social media and causing fear, and fear equals stress, and that affects your nervous system like the bunny rabbit, right? And then the cortisol and the adrenaline spikes. But the very same thing can happen when you listen to maybe you really like listening to me talk, or you love Sam. Obviously you do. This is his show. The Swarm, right? They love Sam. We love Sam. He's funny. There's a lot of great information coming on here. This is great infotainment. Sam might bring you something that might scare the crap out of you. And that's also a problem. So we can actually become in fear and stress and cortisol and adrenaline and ruin ourselves from good people that are giving us information, trying to wake us up. So it's our responsibility. And what responsibility means is the ability to respond. It's how we respond to that information that matters. When we take this stuff in, instead of like, oh my God, the world's ending, I got to go do this. It should be like, that's a valid option. You can stress out the rest of your life if you want to. But if you have somebody good giving you information, you could be like, oh my God, I didn't know that. All right, I'm excited. Yes. I'm going to take action. And see, you don't have to go into that stress response. So be very mindful of when you're interacting with people or listening to people, if you feel fear coming on, because that is the reason why you're feeling it is because of your belief systems.
Yes.
And this is giving you an opportunity to examine your belief systems and why are you getting fearful? Because fear is the opposite of what?
Love.
Is fear the opposite?
Is it love? Let's see.
Number one answer.
Bang, 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 bang.
Fear is the opposite of love.
Yay! Da-da-da!
So we are at our core our vibrational frequency is unconditional love. So, because a lot of people, that fear is getting in between you and your creator. That's what it is. And it's just clouds that are coming in between the sun that shines. That's the unconditional love, your creator. So when you're feeling fear is good when a saber-toothed tiger is chasing you because you can use it, right? But when it comes to daily activities, relationships, your career, getting along with fellow human beings and other people, it just doesn't really serve you. And if you notice the models, the news, they hijack your prefrontal cortex with fear. You go to the doctor. Oh my God, we got this tumor. It's 2 centimeters. We got to operate. We got to get you on chemo. We got bop, bop, bop. And it's fear based. Anytime somebody's bringing you fear, you need to know like, whoa, we need to stop right now here, Buster, because why are you throwing all this fear at me?
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
And no matter what they're throwing at us, we have to understand that when they do this, if we allow them to, they're going to hijack our nervous system and they're going to shorten our life and make us sicker. That's now our responsibility. It's our choice once we understand this. But once you understand it, you can never go back now because you understand if you're in fear mode, you really need to start questioning everything. Because, perfect example, we went to Hippocrates, that health institute, my buddy got cancer, and the psychotherapist is like, oh, congratulations, you have cancer. And Charles looked at him and was like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, I thought the guy was crazy. He's like, you are one of the few people on this planet that actually gets the ability to actually live their life. Most people are just going through life, going through the motions. You're now in the present moment, focused, because you know that your time is limited. And I had a gal on my podcast that was a death doula. She'd been with over 80 people during their death. And she said, you can never live your life fully until you have faced death. You face death. And how many people have these near-death experiences, and then they just completely transform stuff?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right? So they get really solid in that point. So we don't have to have a near-death experience to change our lives. We don't have to get a cancer diagnosis. We can do that consciously right now and understand that, like, our body is a gift. Your life is a gift. God doesn't make mistakes. Creation doesn't make mistakes. So by definition, if you're here, you were created. So God doesn't make mistakes. So you have purpose. What are you going to do with your life? What are you following your passion? Are you following your joy? Are you following your excitement? Or are you just kind of going through the motions? Right? You don't have to wait for a heart attack or a cancer diagnosis or long haul COVID or getting really sick to wake you up. You can do it right now if you choose to. You can choose to have the best relationship ever. You can choose to finally get fit. I mean, if other people are getting fit, so can you. Right? You just haven't figured it out yet. That's kind of the thing that I specialize in. Find somebody like me that was fat and had a whole bunch of health issues and healed themselves and been doing it for 14 years and yelling at people for 14 years to eat sprouts and juice and detox. Right? There's people out there that are examples that you can follow to get what you want, that you can mentor with.
So
in whatever area that's
sadly,
to you.
It's so interesting. Oh, I gotta get that.
Yeah, what about this parasite-free formula?
So
that was one of Dr. Treadway's last formulas before he passed away. He died from a routine back surgery. He was from Texas, a military veteran, and he's got amazing formulas. So parasite-free is a formula. I've been pushing people to get parasite detoxes because almost everybody's got parasites, period, end of story.
I gotta get that.
And a lot of them are very complicated. They're very expensive. They can cost $200 to $600 a month. They taste like terrible, which I'm not too, whatever, as long as it kills them, I don't care. And they're not, you got to take this at this time and this at that time, and there's 2 or 3 of them. So we wanted to have something very simple. Tincture. You shake it up really good because we don't put toxic emulsifiers in any of our tinctures. You have to actually shake them every time because the constituents, the raw materials will sink to the bottom. And you squirt it in your mouth morning and night hold it for about 15 to 30 seconds. Half of it will go through the mucous membrane into the bloodstream to attack amoebas and smaller type parasites that are living intracellularly, and then the rest will go through the gastrointestinal tract and start working on hookworms and pinworms and tapeworms and other stuff. So we're working on adults, larvae, and their eggs.
You ever see
you
it,
just take it morning and night. Very simple.
So I had a question, and okay. So we've heard some bad news, and it's so interesting. I have this great show I do with Austin Picard and Brad Binkley, and it is called Whatever This Is, because we don't even know what, we didn't come up with names, so we just ran with that. And there was a moment in which we brought up Joe Biden and his cancer, and Austin and I made some, jokes, and Brad kind of brought us back into humanity, and I respect him for that. I personally think, but whether it's real or not, I don't know. I think they just want to kill off that narrative. The Biden, the multiple Bidens, Nephilim Biden. You remember Nephilim Biden when he was like 6'8"?
You think they care about that narrative? Really?
I think they're over it. I mean, he's served his purpose.
I think that's true. Yeah.
Gone through, and then now they have multiple Bidens being able to bring a coherent sentence.
Well, it's pretty clear their goal was to get Kamala Harris into the White House.
Right. But I'm saying the narrative of Joe Biden and everyone talking about the multiple Bidens. Do you remember Black Biden?
I don't think they care about that.
I do. I think they want that.
Not
narrative.
enough people know about that.
So that's my opinion. I just want to say my point.
Enough people know about that.
That they killed off the Biden thing, that it will be done. Maybe real Biden is chilling in the Bahamas. Nobody knows what's going on, right? But that narrative is going to come. They no longer have to play the game of Biden's,
Jim Carrey, Biden.
Yeah, Jim Carrey. You remember Black Biden? Do you guys remember Black Biden, where he had some mask on below his black skin Biden? So those Bidens are going to be gone, and that narrative will be done. That storyline will be done. But then Scott Adams now has come out and said he has the exact same thing that Joe Biden has, and that he doesn't think he'll live past the summer. And everybody's running and trying to give him these alternative things for him to take to fight this situation he's in. He said he's tried it all, none of it's worked. I mean, I don't want anyone to pass away. I'm super sorry about that, and I hope that he does figure out something that works and that he can go live on a longer life. But one thing that Scott Adams has said is that the anti-vaxxers, right, were right. He was like, they were right. What is your thoughts on that whole thing, Tim?
As far as vaccines and cancer?
And all that stuff, that there seems to be some connection. And then we had a woman just put out something that we did on Broken Sim. Her name is Leah Real Talk. I keep saying, she's been debunked, maybe. But, she said that an insane number of people in China have died from the COVID situation. The numbers are absolutely insane, the numbers she's putting out.
Why would they tell us the truth?
Right, but do you think there is a link between those two things?
Between
Allegedly,
getting jabbed and cancer.
These are dangerous conspiracies we're talking about. So between the and this turbo cancer that's showing up.
Well, I think we need to take a step back and, look at the Time Magazine special edition, how genetic engineering will change us. The vaccines through the whole COVID thing, if you look at what they're doing, they're hijacking yeasts and bacterium and our own cells and having our cells make the snake venom spike proteins inside of us. Did you guys know that?
Yes. That's how advanced this sorcery is.
All right. So if that's the case, then, why do you... Well, another one. Did you guys ever have... let me think about this. Let me pull this up here. It was pediatric... And that was Thomas. Pediatric. How come it's not pulling up? Physician. Dr. Paul Thomas. He's from Oregon. This will answer your question right here. without even answering it, really. Dr. Paul Thomas is a pediatrician, or was, in the state of Oregon, and he had one of the largest pediatric clinics in the United States. I think it was in the top 5. He had like 10,000 patients, serving with multiple doctors in his clinic. And he did what was called informed consent, okay? Most people know what that is. They actually sit down and tell you the pros and the cons in detail of the vaccinations for your children. And they call these baby well visits, okay? So this doctor was actually doing it. And he says, I do complete informed consent. And when he did complete informed consent, guess what happened to the patient population? 70% of the parents elected to not get vaccinations. The pharmaceutical reps, big pharma, they didn't like this. What was going on? What are you doing over here? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, look, here's the deal. He goes, I'm doing informed consent. That's what we're supposed to do. And he goes, if they don't want any vaccines, I ain't giving it to them. He goes, if they want the full vaccination schedule based on what the CDC says, I'm giving it to them. I'm doing what the parents want for their children. Period. End of story. Okay. He was just doing what he thought was right. So now he has this very large patient population where 70% of the kids were not vaccinated. Well, what happened is that he had a couple kids in his patient population getting autism. It was like 2 or 3 of them. And statistically, that was like way over the numbers that should have been. So he started doing all this deep dive and going, what is going on with my patients? How could this many have autism? And so, long story short, he found out that the kids... So they started looking and examining the health of the children that were vaccinated versus the health of the children that were not vaccinated. And they found out that the 30% population was vaccinated was completely sick and had all the problems. Throat and ear infections, all these issues, sick, autism. The ones that weren't vaccinated were hardly sick at all. He got his license pulled. He got his license pulled for just pointing out the facts and the data that I brought to the table. He goes, wasn't trying to do this, but he goes, just through discovery, we discovered that the kids that were vaccinated were the sickest of all of them, unequivocally. And then they pulled his license for doing that.
It's insane to me that people don't realize that, and something's happened with mothers. This is anti-women. Something's happened with mothers that the fear has overridden
there it is again. There it is. If you're operating out of fear, you're making the wrong choices.
Their basic drive to protect their children at all costs. If in a proper reality, if someone said, if you do this, this could give your kid, there's a 10% chance you could get this. I bet you 100% of the mothers in a proper world would not get it. But we're not seeing that at all.
Well, we actually know 70% will not get it when they're properly informed. We know this now through Dr. Paul Thomas's work.
Yeah,
it's there.
But
and during COVID, I don't know if you guys knew this, but they shut down everything in the beginning. You couldn't even go get your baby well visits. You couldn't go to your pediatrician. And guess what happened during that time when you couldn't go see your doctor? Young child death rates plummeted. So kids stopped dying. As soon as they opened the doors back up and you could go back and see your doctor, the death rates in child exploded again.
I mean, what I never thought about is them testing vaccines on kids. Because they say, oh, they're ready for kids. I'm like, well, you have to test it on them. Which is what kind of adult is like, yeah, you can vaccinate my kid on this experimental fucking vaccine?
Well,
you have an immune system, and this is the bottom line, and this is where all the dysfunction is, the disconnection from nature and the God and the creation of nature, right? And so you have defense mechanisms. You have the innate and the adaptive immune system. You have the gut microbiome system. You have the neural system. You have the there's another system, the interferon system. That interferon system in your body wants to take a hit. It needs struggle. It needs something. So if it gets hit by a certain type of a bacterium or something, it's going to recognize it, create necessary antibodies, and make 1,000 duplicates of that because it knows that thing's going to morph too in nature, and you just became 1,000 times stronger. That's how you grow. That's how you evolve. We need to be exposed to this stuff. Kids used to run around, they just outside all the time in the dirt, picking up microbiome and good bacterium and picking up other stuff from other kids, and they would just get stronger and stronger. They used to have measles parties, right? Remember hearing about this stuff, exposing your kids to the chicken pox and these types of things. And now it's like moms are like, wipe your hands, sterilize your hands, stay out of the dirt. Everything they do, all that stuff is lowering your child's immune system. Everything you're killing, you put those wipes on your hands, you're destroying 99.9% of your positive bacterium that are going to protect you, and you're going to kill off 99.9% of the bad ones, but the 0.1% that stays behind now becomes stronger and stronger and stronger, and now we're breeding these superbugs, and that's why 5% of people go into a hospital, they're dying from something else than what they went in for.
Yeah, and you have like someone said you had like a 500% more chance of dying from a doctor than you do from a gun. It's like crazy. Insane numbers, and no one will understand that. And when they say malpractice, right? Medical malpractice, they're not going, "Oh, you just didn't make it through," meaning that they did everything right and you just didn't make it through.
Something they did.
They did something wrong. And I get into it all the time. I had a conversation with somebody. I'm not going to say who it was. And I was asked them, listen, this is crazy. Listen to this, Tim. So they have told me that for my kids to go to LA school district, that they have to get 2 Hep B shots, even though they've never gotten Hep B in the time. Why do I need 2 of them? Why do I need 2 of them? It makes no effing sense. I mean, let alone 1, 2. They didn't get Hep B. Why are you saying my kids are going to get a fucking party drug disease? Like, it's absolute. I don't know what to do. I want to get them out of LA so badly.
Dude, you just number one is like, don't ever homeschool. You got to get kids out of the public. The public's, it's been hijacked.
I get it, dude. Sometimes that's not an option.
The school system, the educational system is run by government. It's corrupt and broken, disgusting, gross. The medical system, same thing. All these systems, the farming system with the chemicals and stuff like that. These things are broken systems. 4,300 people a day are dying of processed foods. And then you get really sick because the foods are poisoned and contaminated, and then they put you into a system, they put more chemicals on you. Nobody has chemical deficiencies. Like all these diseases that they talk about all the time, they're not diseases. Most of these are nutrient deficiencies. Like scurvy, right? Oh, stay away from them. Stay away from those people. They've got scurvy. Well, what was it? Most people know it was a vitamin C deficiency.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so the sailors were actually called limeys because they found out that if you give if they eat a lemon or a lime a day, that they don't get scurvy because they have vitamin C. The problem is that long voyages, the lemons and limes would go rotten. So they were still dying of scurvy. So then they went to garbanzo beans or chickpeas because they could store them dry, get them wet, soak them, and then eat them. And those had it in there, right? So it wasn't a disease. It was a vitamin C deficiency. There's another disease called rickets. And, oh my God, it's a disease. Stay away. You're going to be contagious. You're going to kill me. That was a vitamin D deficiency. Heart disease. I have a whole episode on this on my show. People are scared about that. It's a B vitamin deficiency. That's what it is. Heart disease is a B vitamin, cholesterol issues. These are B vitamin deficiencies. So you can always look at it's either going to be toxins, or a vitamin. It's a burden, like a toxic burden, chemicals, pesticides, fungicides, radiation, pollution, heavy metals, Wi-Fi. There's things that are going to cause problems to the body, and it's also nutrient deficiencies. So if we can detox this crap out of our cells and out of our gut, and keep it out and stop putting it in and keep our body, like you said, Sam, in a good terrain, a natural terrain, and then flood the body with natural nutrients, the body's going to heal every freaking time at some level. Like you're going to get better. And then you have to also reduce the stress and learn how to respond differently to the stress in the modern world. If you can work on those 3 things and create a lifestyle that's daily detoxing, daily flooding the body with real nutrition, and reducing and responding your stress differently, I haven't seen anybody that doesn't heal.
I couldn't agree more.
What do you think about alkaline water?
Well, I think that it can be good, especially because some people are so acidic. But if you go into nature and look at like a river, a naturally running river, those are slightly acid, right? So it's not that we need alkaline water. It's because we have such an acidic lifestyle because we're eating things with sugar in them. That's acid. We cook a lot of cooked foods, acid. Meat's very acidic. Just flour, pastries, that type of stuff. Anything that's breads and stuff like that. Bananas can have a lot of acidity in them because there's a lot of sugar in there. Dried fruit, coffee, right? Some teas. These are acid-based foods. So since we're so acidy, if somebody's got cancer, then alkaline water could be good for them. But the reality is that if you're eating mostly living foods like every other creature on the planet, where they actually pick their food and eat it on the spot directly from Mother Earth, you're going to be getting very alkaline stuff. Like when you eat a cucumber, that's very alkaline. When you eat eggplant, that's very alkaline. When you eat, broccoli, all this stuff, all these vegetables that have, nicotine in them as well. You're going to get nicotine, you're going to get alkalinity, and you're going to get water. Most of the vegetables have 80% water in them. In fact, there are some animals that they don't drink a lot of water in deserty areas. They get their water from the plants that they eat, right? So that's the whole thing with alkaline water. It can be good, but there's also, if somebody's very acidic and they have like cancer or something, but I don't think it's something, if somebody's eating a proper lifestyle, which most people aren't, they wouldn't even need it. But you have to also be careful. There's a difference between alkaline and alkalized water, right? So alkaline water, you can throw some baking soda in the water, and now it's changing the pH. It's more alkaline. That's okay to have a little bit of that. But if you're drinking like alkaline water that's got baking soda in it all the time, I can't remember why, but it's not good for you. It's just not. How much baking soda water is floating down a river in a pond or coming out of a spring?
Yeah.
It's just a common sense thing. But it does something to your gut. I can't remember what it is. A little bit of baking soda is not bad, but if you're doing it all day long, it's not good.
What's the effects of Molly on you?
Well, I don't think I've ever tried it on my own. I think I don't really know, but I think what happened one time when I was younger and in my 20s, I was dancing with my shirt off in a gay bar, and
sounds pretty Molly.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah, because all the hot chicks were there, and
That's
there was
a great
no competition.
dude. That's a great place to pick up chicks is in a gay bar.
There's no competition.
They got to think you're not gay first.
Well, because their whole thing is like, oh, we're finally just gonna be able to dance and not get hit on, even though women complain men aren't hitting on them.
That's what you think, baby.
Yeah, that's what you think.
So here comes
so
Sam.
I didn't know it.
Sammy's here.
Didn't know it. Okay, I didn't know that it was a gay bar going in there. Probably from Eastern Oregon. I wouldn't have went in there, but I had 10 Long Islands that night. So my buddies took me over to this place. Can't remember the name of it. I'll think of it. What was the name of it? I can't think of it. Anyway, I'm up on some blocks dancing. I come down. I'm sweating my butt off. It's like, whatever, 1 a.m, midnight. And this girl walks by and she's got a glass of water in a plastic cup. I was like, hey, can I get a drink of that water? She stops and looks at me. She's like, okay, here you go. And then I started drinking it. And then, because I was drunk, it finally registered that the way she looked at me. And then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what's in this? She's like, you'll find out in about 10 minutes.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
And I gave it back to her. I don't know what it was. I think it might have been Molly or something because the next, I was so tired. I couldn't go to bed until 1 p.m. the next day.
ABH, what's it called?
Date rape drug?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It kept me up for another 12 hours, and I was just laying in bed.
that's
I
not
wanted to
it.
go to bed so bad.
I had a buddy of mine in college. He loved that shit. He
The
would
date
drink-
rape drug?
He'd give it to himself. And then
rape himself?
Inevitably, he'd have to go to the hospital.
What?
And he was like this good-looking guy. He's Derek. He's from
GHB. That was it.
GHB.
Rohypnol or GHB.
Yeah, he would sip GHB. And then every time there would be an ambulance showing up to take him to the hospital. And then I'd show up to the hospital and he'd always be buck naked. I'm like, why are you naked, dude? And then you'd see all the gay nurses just like, we got to get his clothes off.
He got drugged again.
He's got drugged to go, Derek.
Sam's right. People party on it, but they literally take bottle caps.
Yeah, it's
Very,
so small.
very little. And you can obviously go too far very easily.
Yeah, he would do it all the time back
That's
in
very
Vegas.
responsible, actually. You could go too far, very easily. I appreciate that.
Yeah, don't do it.
A responsible word.
And she's like Smokey the Bear. I know. Only you can date rape yourself. John's eyes just fucking opened up. All right, dude. This has been a great Tim. Excuse me, Tim. Sorry, John. Sorry, Tim. My apologies.
You had me looking. I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't know what I just said right there. Great episode, dude. Is there anything else you wanted to hit, dude? This is literally one of the best episodes we've ever done, dude.
Big time.
Thank you, Tim.
I'd never heard the viruses of Venom thing. That's fascinating.
Well, I think number one takeaway is like fear. If you feel fear, recognize that that's not your true natural vibrational frequency. And if somebody's bestowing fear upon you, it's disconnecting you from source. And so it's really important to understand that anytime you're experiencing fear, unless something's chasing you in the woods, people probably don't have your best interests at heart. And you need to pause and take a moment to find out what belief systems that you have that are feeling this, and maybe do some homework and really dig in and have an open mind to find out if you're being lied to or not, because most likely you are. That's what I've experienced over the last 14 years, starting to question everything. I couldn't believe that there was toxins in my food because I paid my taxes for the Federal Food and Drug Administration to make sure that my chicken strips and JoJo's were healthy. I didn't know that the batter that the chickens were wrapped in had glyphosate in it, and it was causing these proteases that were eating my intestinal lining. Okay, I didn't know that, and I think I should have known that. And why did they allow that? And so me getting angry in the beginning was my first response because I didn't have the skill set that I have now, because that anger, I guess it was good because it got me to take action, but it also created a fear state inside of me, and the cortisol and the adrenaline, and I was creating a toxic soup. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to let them get us at any level. Even when they're spewing their fear, we want to be like, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? And how can I make sure that I don't participate in that at all? And in a loving way, open the door through my actions in my life by being healthy and having a great relationship and being financially successful and all these other things, hand out permission slips to my friends and my family and the people in my community so they can see that they don't have to be in fear as well. All right. So that would be one big takeaway. The second thing is, if anybody needs any help at all with their health, or they're stuck and they want to lose weight, or they got some disorder disease, we really want to help people. We're a small company. We've got great products that Dr. Treadway formulated. We have all these nano silver things that are amazing now, even the mouth. Dude, we have a mouth rinse that if you swallow it, your immune system goes up. Think about that. Who has that?
I got to start getting some of this. I got to start.
We can't say that
we're not allowed to say what we just said.
Helpful if swallowed, because all the other ones say harmful if swallowed. Please contact the Poison Control Center.
Oh wait, I think I got some of that stuff. That mouthwash is incredible. Yeah,
it's unbelievable, right? And
it's
I'll
great.
Take
amazing.
It right now.
Yeah, it tastes fantastic. Yeah, I love that. I gotta buy some more.
Now.
Actually, I use the toothpaste. That nano infused toothpaste. I use the wound healing thing on little cuts and stuff.
Dude, that stuff's awesome. Dr. Treadway's herbal formulas are awesome. The nano silver's awesome. This is stuff that I've curated over 14 years. And then we have that new, if you click on the Water Hero up top, we have this new system. We've had about $50,000 in orders in the last 30 days.
Wow.
On these waters. We are one of two companies, I believe, that have certified structured water devices that structure the water back to the most water is like 105.
So you're saying put this on your pipes?
You can we have whole house units, and we also have a handheld device. Some people have both. We're pretty much look. Oh, it just sold out. Yes, yeah. I didn't.
So how exactly does it work? It's kind of.
So what happens is that the water passes through it. There's certain crystals that are at a certain frequency that the inventor finds. He got them in Brazil. He has them cut a certain way, and they're placed a certain way. And when the water goes through it, it's quite remarkable what happens. It actually creates what's called an endothermic reaction. And if you look at that, keep in mind these units are not plugged into any electricity. These are antimicrobial brass and copper. They're these crystals that are cut and placed at certain angles, and then which is a majority of it. And then on the outside coating, he has this plant resin that's made up of seawater, morning dew water, and ash. And so that creates like a mineral imprint through So when the water goes through it, it's imprinting the frequency of the minerals into the water. It's kind of like a homeopathic thing on top of what's going on inside. Now, the main thing is that when it goes by these crystals, this endothermic reaction happens, which means it's bringing energy into solution. How do we know this is working? Because when the water comes in, you can measure the temperature of the water coming in and the temperature of the water coming out, and it's about 0.4 to 0.7 degrees colder, depending on the amount of pressure and flow. The more pressure and flow, depending on your gallons per minute going through the system, the more of an endothermic reaction you have. So by doing this, it's charging the positive and the negative on it, and it really energizing the water, and it's doing some amazing things, especially on plants too for crops. It's like doubling crops. We have just people have to go to the website and they can read all about it under the Water Heroes site, but it helps with mitochondrial function. You're actually creating sacred geometry. So the water goes to 120 degree bond angle, which is hexagonal, and it's also taking minerals like vaterites and aragonite forms of calcium and converting them to, calcite and aragonite to vaterite. And vaterite is also hexagonal sacred geometry. So it's actually softening the water and giving you a very beneficial form of vaterite that's actually made in the mitochondria. So it helps with the gut. It helps with so many things. You have to have me back on. We'll talk about the water system because it's literally a game changer. I think they should have put up a waiting list on that handheld. If not, I'll have them get it up there because these things are awesome. I got my chickens are getting structured water, my ducks, my dog, me, my dad, everybody. And you can drink a lot less water and get even more hydrated with this type of water. It's actually fourth phase water, and they can read all about it on the website. So I just took
my supplements from you, Chemical Free Body. I just took them right now. I take them every day, and I take them on Wednesdays. I take them in between shows. So when we first met, I'd say we've been close for about 5 years, maybe a little bit before that. But my kids had just been born, and you got me to buy a water filter, and I just got a brand new one, and I love it. I use it all the time. I filter this.
And you're a water snob. Like, I've bought you water before at the airport, and you're like, that's what you bought me?
Well, you can't get somebody some Aquafina, bro.
No, I've got it in other stuff.
When I go to a comedy club, and they got Aquafina, I'm like, I don't know if I can come back here again.
Yeah. I've seen them talk
Dana
shit.
gives him my rider, and my rider is Avion water. I need Avion water. I'd love that filtered water. It doesn't happen on the road, but I am not drinking Aquafina or what's the other shitty one?
Dasani.
Just shit in my mouth. Why don't you just do that? I need a water. Shit in my mouth.
He's literally told the club that. He's asked for water, and he's got these like.
So it's so funny. I did that show with Josh Denny and Gavin McGinnis, and I brought up because they brought me an Aquafina. I go, dude, why are you guys serving Aquafina water? It's garbage. He goes, I guarantee you, if you Gavin McGinnis, who is great, was like, I guarantee if you test it, it's all the same. I go, bro, that's totally not true.
I could tell the difference. Absolutely,
dude. So someone just put out the top 5 worst waters, and they only put the first 3, and you have to watch another video to get the first 2. But in the top 3, Aquafina and Dasani. Yeah. Garbage
The ones
water.
made by Coke and Pepsi.
100, who is owned by the same person. The same entity owns both of them.
I'm trying to drink that glass bottle shit.
That Spring Mountain one? That's the best one.
It's everywhere now.
All right, Tim. This has been a great episode. What I'm going to say, all-time banger, dude. Great episode. I know you wanted to get into a bunch of other stuff, but the show goes as the show goes, and this is an all-time great. So we appreciate you. One more time, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, we're at chemicalfreebody.com. That's chemicalfreebody.com. And if you guys want to try anything out, don't forget to use the code TFH, tinfoil hat, and you guys can get a discount and help support Sam and his crew. And if you have questions, reach out to us. I talk to a lot of people too. Every time I get a moment, I hop in there and I call customers and chat with them and see what's up. And we love doing that. We also do coaching, and I have something new. I've been doing an inner circle call for over 6 years. And I do coaching on Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So I teach on a topic, and then we do live Q&A so people can come. That's normally been a paid-for program. It still is. It's $37 a month to be in the inner circle, or people pay $997 for lifetime. But now I changed it so that if people are patronizing us and they're using our products and they're getting benefit and they're on our subscribe and save where they're getting it on a regular basis and saving money, you now get into the inner circle for free. So as long as you're doing that, you get free coaching. I don't know anybody else is doing that, where you can go to a supplement company and you have a free coach where you can plug into every week and get questions answered. Because we really want, our products are just part of the toolkit for you to have ideal health. There's other companies we recommend, all kinds of different stuff, free things that you can do. You can get structured water by putting chia seeds in water. That will also structure your water. When you eat a cucumber, the water inside of plants is structured. Aloe vera is structured. Everything inside of a plant is structured, right? So there's different things that you can do to structure your water too. So we try to point out all the free stuff, and then we have certain, detox, herbal nutrition type products, the silvers, the saunas, and that kind of stuff to help speed that up for those that want that want to incorporate in their life and use the things that I'm using in my life that have benefited me. And Sam, I'll be 52
Damn,
June 7th.
You look good, buddy.
And I feel amazing. I did sprints this week, just out in front of the farm on the county road. I sprint for 30 seconds and then walk for 30 seconds. And I sprint for 30 seconds and I walk for 30 seconds. And I'll trail run with my kids. Are coming back down for Memorial Day. And we'll probably go hiking, pick some morel mushrooms, swimming, whatever. I can keep up with my 20-year-old sons, no problem. No problem. And this is what we're supposed to be doing as human beings. You have a God-given right to be able to use and move your body freely without pain and have energy and to be able to go and do and enjoy this wonderful planet and our friends and neighbors. And it's hard to do, when you're carrying a bunch of extra weight around and your knees hurt and stuff like that. And you can get out of this stuff. You can get out of inflammation and you can change yourself. And we love helping guide people through that process. And I've stayed healthy now for 14 years. And every time I think I can get healthier, I learn something else from a client or from somebody else that I have on my show. And it's been awesome. So,
well, buddy,
fun stuff.
I love having you on. You're an all-time great. You're a good friend, and I appreciate you. And thanks for coming on. And links below. And he's one of our affiliates. I have him in the. You go to samtripoli.com. You click the link. You can get right into it. It gets you going. And yeah, man. So great episode. All right, guys. Let's break it down. Hey, guys. So what'd you guys think?
Think I'm giving up weed and moving to fucking nicotine.
Yeah, dude.
That's the move. And you called it first. Why are you always on top of everything? I was over here like, Sam just going to be kind of just popping.
And literally, I am just popping.
But for the good.
time.
For good.
For good. I've never felt more alive. I'd give you a 6 right now if I didn't think you crashed your
see
car
what some of those
and end up in
additives are.
Mexico. Okay. Guys, listen to me, dude. This episode was full fire. James is always great in the show. Tim James, he's always great in the show. But this was, I thought, the best episode he's ever done. And it was fire. And, it just lines up to my whole thing with the terrain theory. And now we're finding out they're just giving us snake venom. For the love of
I
God.
wonder, okay, so does it line up with your terrain theory? Because he was saying that there is something that is a virus. It's venom. Now, but that's not what you're saying.
I'm saying that the thing that they say is in the air that you catch and
But you think it's
multiply.
exosomes. And he's saying it's not. It's venom.
I'm saying it's a combination.
Okay, so you kind of just...
I'm saying that what they say is a virus is an exosome.
It's venom, though.
And the venom is causing it to detoxify. Exactly. I'm going to talk to XG because Xavier sucks. I love Zombie XG back from his EDM concert.
You really didn't bring your
Mola.
voice today, did you?
No, I did not. But I do. It is kind of weird that it always goes
It's
back.
weird because these were your best episodes. Unbelievable.
No, but it's weird that it goes back to snake.
It is weird.
Goes back to the snake.
Most
goes back to
people
venom.
Can't accept that. Most people can't come to grips
Who
with it.
told Eve to eat the snake? Who to eat the apple?
I think
who
he
was that?
answered it. Snake. But
Oh,
then he goes,
snake.
you're going to crawl on your belly for the rest of your life, which makes me think it had arms and legs before. Was it a lizard person?
Yeah, that's what...
Or a dragon?
Or a drag? Damn. Xavier Guerrero bringing the bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's it. I know he wanted to come in and talk about a bunch of other stuff, but man, that snake venom shit was exactly what Daddy needed to hear to know he's right again. He's right again. And it was a great episode. I hope you guys go and click on his banner on our thing and support Tim James for coming and giving us that good stuff, guys. The good stuff. Listen, guys, if you want to see me live, so here's real quick. Everything you need, listen, very simple. Guys, if you want anything Sam Tripoli, just go to samtripoli.com. You don't have to worry about being gone one day. It's a decentralized website. And if you want to buy tickets to my show, it's very simple. samtripoli.com/events. On May 29th, I am in Costa Mesa. June 13th, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, June 1st is another Comedy Chaos. Who knows how much longer that show will be going. Then the next night, June 14th, Pittsburgh, PA. Then we're going to be in San Diego. And guess what? We have a special guest dropping in at the July 19th, 9:30 show. That's right. The one and only Johnny Woodard will be there.
Oh, I didn't. Okay. Yes.
Johnny Woodard's going to be doing 5 minutes on how much I suck. And then August 1st, I'm going to be or Tinfoil Hat will be in Boston. And then the next night, we're in Broadbrook, Connecticut, and then Kansas City, and then I think we got one more on there, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and one more after that, Oklahoma City, and then Skankfest in New Orleans. So go to samtripoli.com, grab all the dates. Listen, guys, there's so much going on samtripoli.com. All my videos, audios there. The premium content is nothing but pure fire. Putting up 3 episodes a week for a low price. You're getting the good shit. You're getting the very good shit. So go there. Then you go down. If you're looking for investments, there's no better place to go than the Cash Daddy's Patreon. It's still up. It's over 1,300 subscribers. Some of them are free subscribers. But, people are joining. Check out Cash Daddy's. Howie's Homies is fire. Howie is an idiot savant, and he's picking them. Obviously, if you're investing, it's like gambling. You're going to win some. You're going to win more than you lose, but it will be there. Johnny, what do you think of it?
It's the community that really makes it too, because people are bouncing ideas off each other, bouncing ideas off Howie, getting feedback from Howie. A lot of his best ideas come from the community, the community source. So it's a good place to hang out. It's a community of
winners. Okay, that's why I call the Patreon.
Winners winning.
Winners winning. Okay, so go check that out. Patreon.com/cashdaddies. Go down. Chaos Twins. Got the new characters. Saw them. They're great. Dana, or will be called Danny. That's what the girls call her.
Oh, that's cute.
She's in it. She's the wise one. She's like, why am I so thick? I go, because this is what we're going for. So go check that.
I love that she didn't dispute the wise thing. It was just a thick thing. That's because that would be my first question.
And then, guys, we're very excited. We got a brand new affiliate. He's going to be a giant sponsor on the show. The Live Longer Formula. Check that out. Go down. Tinfoil Hat t-shirts are fire as well. Tinfoil Hat t-shirts. New ones going up all the time. The last one is the one we love, which is, yes, look at that. Look at that. The Tinfoil Hat World Order. Check that out, dude. Tinfoil Hat World Order. All your t-shirts, great way to support the show.
The one Sam has on right now is also up there as well if you want to go get that.
You can get black, you can get white, you can get everything.
Yeah.
We brought back some old ones as well, so check those out. Those are at a discount if you want them. Rife Technology. Get your energy right with Rife Technology. We love them. He got in a car accident. We wish Matt Rife a quick recovery. We love him very much. Obviously, our good friends at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. We love them. The man, the myth, the legend, the UFC king, okay, the Hall of Famer himself, Pat Miletich, and his Mineral King. Aqua Cure, hydrogen brown gas. Get that hydrogen, dude. They deplete our atmosphere of it. Get it. Our good friends, I see them all the time in the chats on doom scrolling. Harley Ray with the best website you'll ever see. If you need candles, crystals, sage, no better place to go. Obviously, we love Tim James and his chemical-free body. I take it every day. I took it on the show. You saw me take it. I'm going to have the next guest on one of our upcoming shows. Joel Staley's got a workout for you guys. They'll knock it out of the park. Get rid of that dirty electricity. I think if I have one complaint about where I live, it's right next to high wires, and I think it's affecting us. Dirty electricity is not good. So go check out EMF Rocks, Prometheus if you love my website. And, normally, obviously we know when Xavier's on some kind of drugs, he's crushing it even harder. Usually he's on Brain Supreme and he's top shelf greatness. They're doing great, so check them out. Nuke Social, Telegram, you name it, all there. Could you go down a little bit? Is it okay? Keep going down. Keep going down. All my audio's there. We're going to put Doom scrolling up very soon. And then obviously keep going down. Keep going down. Radios. And then audio, videos. All my specials are there. My quiet's I'm getting it. It's going to be on the website, of course. Anything else, guys? What do you think?
Hit that like button, subscribe, and then we also have these tinfoil hats at tinfoilhats.com. Swarm hats. Go get them over there, and go check out my podcast that actually marks a spot on YouTube, please.
Check out Broken Sim. We just I got a T-shirt for you. This is a T-shirt I accidentally bought. Actually, we talked about it in the last Broken Sim. Just check out the back of it. Do you see? It's the Backdoor Kings. I wore that around in public. Didn't realize what was on the back of it because it came in like a blind draw kind of thing, mystery box, as you like to say.
I think I would wear this.
Yeah,
actually.
I think you would too. That's the first thing we thought.
Yeah,
so
we don't smoke the same. That'll be your jersey soon. So
shout out Brooklyn Projects.
Yeah, and real quick, so we have a fan who's been wonderful in uploading the episodes. Unfortunately, his life he's a busy man doing busy stuff, so he hasn't been able to put up every episode. So we're going to now be doing a YouTube channel that will be coming out hopefully sooner than later. We'll let you know, and you'll be able to go subscribe there. It will be a YouTube version of Tinfoil Hat, but you guys love that platform. We're on Rumble, we're on Twitter, we're on Rockfin, we're on BitChute, we're on everything. But that's where you guys want to see it. You're going to be able to get it. And we will have to play ball with YouTube, and you'll see what we mean by that. And all right, man, enjoy these highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim. James Comey
Hot topics.
was on Instagram, I guess, and was just walking down the beach, right? Is what he said.
Yeah.
And he said, "Look at this interesting seashell."
Yeah,
formation
he
came up with.
Yeah,
He
came up with
or that I put here 5 minutes ago. Really, is what he should.
They think we're stupid.
I mean, he must, right? Okay. And what it says, I'll try to find the.
It's a picture. It's in a Tom Hanks shady kind of picture way, which is 8647.
Yeah, it's the numbers 8647. Seashell spelling that out, and he wrote
8647.
Cool shell formation on my beach walk.
Yeah, sure, Comey. You think we're dumb? I know you think we're dumb.
Now, 86, of course, is code for to get rid of something.
Did anyone go, hey, man, maybe you shouldn't do that?
And then.
Is there anyone there that could tell Comey that's dumb? Don't do that.
Man, he's really tall. Oxygen doesn't get up that high.
Oh, how tall is
Mount
he?
Everest. He's like 6'6" or something. He's
really?
like a freak.
Comey's 6'6"?
Oh, yeah, dude. James Comey's huge.
Damn, dog. Nephilims.
He's 6'8". Sorry, he's 6'8". James Comey.
James Comey is 6'8".
Yes, yeah, he's massive.
Dude, if he walked in, I'd go, oh my God, you're so big.
Look at him, dude.
It's that thing you do with Zoom, Johnny, where you meet somebody you know from Zoom and you go, how tall are you really?
Look at the size of this freak, dude. Just a giant man.
Oh my God, Johnny, I never knew that.
Yeah, look at him next to Obama, who's supposed to run like 6'1", 6'2".
Oh, wow.
Yeah, look at he towers.
Did he play any
Trump.
ball in college? When he went to lizard school? Was he a power forward lizard?
Let's see. Play basketball.
How many chicks are getting pregnant tonight because the Knicks won? We won a championship energy, didn't
He played high school basketball, but refused to play in pickup games with Barack Obama because he did not want to appear too friendly with his best friend, Barack Obama.
As he's in pictures laughing with him.
Yeah.
I don't want to come off as too friendly. High fives, doing all the jive high fives.
Cool.
Right. So he puts out this thing. The internet freaks out.
47. I didn't say it, though. If you don't know, Trump is the 47th president.
He's 45th and 47th, which is 9/11.
Yeah, well, also that...
Johnny, it's 9/11.
And then it's been, according to people on the internet, it's been 8,647 days since the September 11th attack.
And I wonder if he goes, oh, I can get away with it now because I can explain it away with this. Because that really weirdo governor of Michigan had the exact same thing. She had like blocks on her desk behind her that said 8647.
Really?
Yeah, which everyone thinks is a sign of shading it. And then everyone brings in the Qatar plane. You're like, what a great way to get rid of somebody is just give them a blown up plane.
Give him a plane that's already blown up?
No, that's about to blow up or could blow up, John. You know what I'm doing. Stop.
Well, it's funny. I mean, the plane thing, we haven't talked about it here, but this plane, they say, will cost more almost than they could ever hope to save for them to actually tear through it and refit it for all the, because it's got to have like flares in it and all this high tech that they don't tell us about that Air Force One has.
Yeah.
So they have to almost take the thing apart.
They can't do an X-ray of it.
Well, it's not just to make sure it's safe. Yeah, that's part of it. But it's also to just add all this shit to it that has to be added.
Oh, for the Air Force One?
Yeah, for the military.
Yeah, dude, I wouldn't ride that till I'm at the end of my presidency.
No.
I wouldn't ride that.
Well, they said it's going to take 2 years. He's going to be out of here, you know?
No, he's got 3 more years.
Yeah, but he's going to have 1 year, like to a real 1 year probably.
Yeah, it's going to take 2 years to make it?
That's what they said. Yeah, 2 years to do all
Can't they
that
send
shit.
Secret Service there to watch?
This clearly means like get rid of Trump. It's
100%.
I mean, it's obviously so. Now James Comey had a little knock at the door. I don't know if you saw this earlier today. The Secret Service came by.
Yeah,
they called him in. Actually, I think he had to come in.
Yeah.
This says former FBI Director James Comey has been interviewed by the U.S. Secret Service after he shared a deleted social media post. Trump noticed immediately, of course, that Republicans allege is an incitement to violence against the U.S. President Donald Trump. Comey voluntarily participated in questioning for about an hour he had to go into their D.C. headquarters. It comes a day after he posted that. And then this is from the BBC, them acknowledging that it could also mean kill and then 47.
It could also mean like we're out of Heinz 47 if you're running a restaurant.
Yeah.
Guys, we're out of Heinz 47, 8647.
Trump said he knew exactly what it meant. A child would know what that meant.
I bet you my kids don't. Hey,
no.
Hey, Ninja, what does that mean?
They wouldn't. If you're the FBI director and you don't know what that meant assassination, and it says it loud and clear.
It says it loud and clear. Okay? Yeah, you know they want. I mean,
so strange though. Why would he do that?
Yeah, I know. It's because he's like Tom Hanks. They're all crazy people. They're all psychopaths. No one makes it that level that wouldn't stab their mom.
Tulsi Gabbard says that he
should be arrested.
He should be jailed for issuing a hit.
The only
on Trump.
chick that could be president, Tulsi Gabbard, just because she has phone sex voice. That's the only reason.
I like her.
Right? She'd be like, oh, guys, let me tell you about our new budget. Yeah, you like that? You like that dirty
Just
budget?
get anything passed he wants creeping on those old guys.
Yeah. That's what she.
Yeah, the problem is she goes in there and like, hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Mr. Kennedy. What's that? Kennedy or whatever from, hey, y'all, I'm from Louisiana. Yeah. I just love talking in metaphors, wonky ass metaphors. She goes in there and like slides a little hand up his leg, and he's like, sorry, darling, you're barking up the wrong tree. You're barking up the wrong dog's leg.
You're barking up the wrong fire hydrant.
You're off by about 50 years, sweetheart.
Okay, that thing don't work.
We only like boys around here.
There's not enough Blue Chew in here to save you.
Yeah, it's just.
Come on.
But seriously, so many of those guys, like in Senate, especially, read as Schmurf. They really do. Speaking of Schmurf, did you see? And I'm torn on this because a lot of people are saying it's just fake. But James O'Keefe has gotten his hands, and he is milking the shit out of it. Some footage from.
I actually like James.
I do too.
I used to think he was like too slanted, but now I understand what he's doing. But, dude, you don't say, dude, I got to run for my life. You won't hear from me for a while. Next thing he's on a rooftop DJing.
Yeah, with that like bulletproof vest on.
Johnny, flag that. That will get copyrighted.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm really concerned about that. So he comes out with this footage that he's been like leaking out in dribs and drabs of Schmerpstein Island. And I mean, did you see it? The painting?
Johnny, you should go, and if you want to find out the words we said on the show, go to Broken Sim on Twitter. We'll list every you can find.
So this is one of the things. This was in the library. This came out most recently. This is not the weird.
If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, subscribe to Broken Simulation in your podcasting app, or check us out at youtube.com/Sam Tripoli.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, You just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hat, tinfoil hat, tinfoil.